Go finish it, Sydney.
Gail.
For Dewey.
As soon as the trailer for Scream 6 dropped, I just knew that the next movie in the Scream franchise would come out sooner than we all think. But before we spoil anything about the film, let's dive in to discuss everything we know about Scream 6 so far.
Let's get him into the kitchen.
So let's start off with talking about the plot of Scream 6. We all remember that the first Scream was one of the first horror movies when the main character knew about common horror movie tropes and cliches. This surely made for some laughs and also gave the characters a chance to try to make smarter choices as they tried to figure out who the ghost-faced killer was and stop them. And without giving away major plot points from the 5th installment to the Scream series, which came out last year, the characters again use what they know about horror movie tropes. Soon, they figure out that the new killer is making a prequel or legacy-quel of the fictional stab movies from the previous films, and killing characters who are related to the characters in the first film.
I've decided to temporarily assist you in your investigation.
Thank you.
So it's fair to assume that Scream 6 will start right where the last movie left off. Sam and Tara Carpenter and Mindy and Chan Meeks Martin moved to New York City to get away from Woodsboro and its dark past. They want to start over in a new city, but when a new ghost face starts killing people around them, they're quickly pulled into another meta-slasher whodunit. But like in recent whodunit movies, less information about the plot makes it easier to follow, so who will turn out to be the new killer between legacy characters and new faces? Well, you'll know when I break down the cast of Scream 6. The thing is, almost every Scream movie has a long list of characters, so I'll break it down into new-ish characters, legacy characters, and completely new characters to make it easier. Jenna Ortega is returning as Tara Carpenter. The title character of Tim Burton's Wednesday series is the newest member of the Scream Queen Hall of Fame, all thanks to her recent roles in the latest Scream movie, Studio 666, The Babysitter Killer Queen, and Ty West's A24 horror, X. Alongside with Jenna is Melissa Barrera, who's returning as Sam Carpenter, Tara's older sister. Her controversial family history from the 2022 movie makes her both a possible suspect and a possible victim in the new movie. Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding will also be back as the twins Mindy and Chad Meeks Martin, joining the Carpenter sisters in New York City. And interestingly, as Randy Meeks' niece and nephew, they also have a blood connection to one of the tragic people in the first movie. But before I move on to the legacy characters who are returning for the upcoming sequel, let's talk about the new characters in Scream 6.
I still prefer the Babadook.
Well, the new characters from New York City feature Devin Nakota, Josh Segarra, Leanna Liberetto, Jack Champion, and Tony Rovalori, who will be introduced as Allison, David, Carly, and Gabe. Ready or Not's lead actress, Samara Weaving, has also joined the cast, but it's still unclear what role these characters will play in the next Scream movie. On top of that, Weaving's character hasn't been named yet, which adds to the mystery of her role. And of course, how can I forget? Roger L. Jackson will be back to voice the Ghostface killer. What's fascinating is that Jackson has been the voice of the masked murderer in every Scream-related project since the first movie came out in 1996. And yes, this includes the 2019 spin-off TV show, Scream Resurrection.
Not this. Those fuckers can die in anonymity. Maybe something about a good man who used to be the sheriff here once.
Now for the legacy characters we've all been waiting for. Courtney Cox, of course, is returning as Gale Weathers, who's notably the only character in the Scream series to be in every movie. She started out as a secondary bad guy, but she joined forces with Sidney Prescott and fell in and out of love with David Arquette's Scream character Dewey. And alongside Cox, Hayden Panettiere is returning, who played Kirby Reed in the first two Scream movies. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Didn't Kirby die in Scream 4? Well, it wasn't known for sure until the 2022 Scream, which had an Easter egg showing that her character had survived after all. But unfortunately, Sidney Prescott, who plays Neve Campbell, won't be in the sequel because of a pay dispute. Oh man, that's I wonder how that's gonna affect the rest of the franchise. And one question that's popping in my head is, will Scream 6 have a new final girl?
Stumacher's sister.
Who's Stumacher?
Oh my god.
He's Billy Loomis's accomplice, a real Looney Tune.
Okay.
Despite Neve Campbell no longer returning to play Sidney Prescott, the beloved final girl, Jenna Ortega says there'll be so much action and blood that people won't notice. I hope so, but die-hard fans of the franchise seem to be upset that the final girl isn't coming back. So could this be a good thing for the franchise in the long run? Well, I think for once we can say that we don't really need closure every time. See, the thing is, Sidney and Ghostface don't feel like they have unfinished business with each other, like Laurie Strode and Michael Myers do in the Halloween movies. This is mainly because Ghostface was never just one killer. Since anyone can wear the cloak and mask, we don't really get the same kind of long-term connection between Sidney and Ghostface. Each Ghostface killer had a different reason to stalk and kill, from Sidney's boyfriend to a mother who had lost a child to a long-lost brother or sister. In every movie, someone new showed up, and when Sidney and the others found out who it was, they were surprised. And by this measure, Sidney and Ghostface would never be able to put the past behind them. So at what point can Sidney just move on with her life? Well, as we saw in Scream 5, the script set the stage for her to be able to live as normal a life as possible, even though she's Sidney Prescott. In the first scene we see her in, she's running along a boardwalk with a stroller and talking about being married to Mark Kincaid from Scream 3. And even though she's brought back to Woodsboro for this installment, she's only there because the new killer is obsessed with the story and its survivors and wants to try to kill a legacy victim. And this no longer makes her the most important character, which is fine by me. So does that mean Ghostface can be anyone? In Scream 5, there's already a small change in how the story goes. Yeah, murders happen again in Woodsboro, and yes, Gale, Sidney, and Dewey are back, but this is more of a prequel or legacy-quel than a new generation of characters. On top of that, this Ghostface, who's played by Jack Quaid, and Mikey Madison, meet on an obsessed fans Reddit and decide that they're the ones who need to carry on the legacy of New Possibilities. And as there always seems to be a link between Ghostface and a previous movie, I think we can expect the link to be there even if it doesn't involve Sidney directly. Plus, fans are also excited that Kirby Reed from Scream 4 is back, and everyone is wondering what her role will be in the big picture, and if Ghostface will have anything to do with what happened in Scream 4.
No bad guy to keep coming back. But the illegitimate daughter of the original mastermind?
Last but not least, now for the most important question about the movie: when does Scream 6 come out? Well, it was supposed to be released in the US on March 31st, 2023, but the gods of horror movies have given us a break. And now the franchise's latest movie will come out 3 weeks earlier than expected, on March 10th instead of in April. Let's go! Fans can watch last year's Scream on Paramount+, and if you haven't seen it yet, you probably should, especially before Scream 6 comes out. On that note, how excited are you for the upcoming Scream sequel? Thanks for watching. See you next time.